This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
freestateproject.org/Liberty Forum. freestateproject.org/Liberty Forum.
Please welcome to presidential candidate and Congressman Dr. Ron Paul.
Thank you very much for a very nice introduction, and thank you for the emphasis on hard money, sound money. That's very important. These last 4 years, we've let the people know in this country what the Federal Reserve is all about and why we demand an audit and eventually removal of the Federal Reserve System. You know, I had always dreamed of the day of the collapse of the Soviet system so we could get Cold War and start saving money and bringing our troops home and putting all that energy into building our middle class once again. But what did we do after the Cold War ended? We went around looking for more monsters to destroy and creating a new Cold War. We're in more countries now than ever. Instead of shrinking this militarism and involvement overseas, we've expanded it. I think it's time, not only because it's the right thing to do, the constitutional thing to do, but because we can't afford it anymore. We need to end these wars and bring all our troops home. We have financed the entitlement system and the wars with an illegal system of money, but if we would just have individuals who believed enough in the Constitution to only go to war the way we have been told that we're supposed to do it. Our founders did not want the king or the executive branch of government to make solitary decisions on when the people have to go to war and sacrifice not only financially but sacrifice so many lives. So if we would have only followed the Constitution and said no wars unless they're declared. If they're declared, you go fight them, win them, and then you come home. Under these circumstances in the last 10 years, whether it's the wars overseas or even this ill-advised war against drugs, too many people give up too many liberties thinking that they're going to be made safer. But the founders were right, especially Benjamin Franklin said that there's no reason ever to give up your liberties for safety and security. If you do, you will lose both your safety and security. I'm afraid that's what's happening to us now. But the government's supposed to protect our liberties, but we have it turned upside down. And the government's supposed to be open, but we have it the wrong way now. The government is secret and our privacy is gone. We need to turn that back. We need our privacy back, and we need a lot more open government. We live in a great country. We still have a lot of wealth. Unfortunately, most of the wealth is based on debt. But we have the traditions that even the Soviet system didn't have, and all we have to do is look to our traditions. We look to our Constitution, obey the law, and we'll get back on our feet in no time. I have come to a firm determination many years ago that even if I would be poorer and the whole country would be poorer, I'd rather live in a free country than one where the government's telling us how to live. But you know, we don't have to make that decision. The history shows now that the freer the country, the more prosperous is the country, and the smaller is the government. So we don't have to make a choice, and that to me is so wonderful. Take that role on all the time. They only do that by undermining personal liberty, which eventually undermines all our economic prosperity. So for me, politically, the goal is to follow the Constitution, seek peace, because through peace you have much more prosperity, to be willing and able and capable to defend our country if we're attacked. But overall, The odds of us being attacked, have you ever thought to think about the world today? We have more weapons than everybody else put together. If everybody attacked us, we could still take care of ourselves. The odds are essentially zilch, and anybody's going to attack us. And yet, we do take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution against all enemies. The foreign enemies, I don't think we have to worry about them. They're not going to invade us. But we do have to be concerned about our domestic enemies and the undermining of our liberties here at home. But the whole idea of what America was all about, and it is freedom, and that what it is. Freedom is still very popular in this country, and it's getting more popular, and more people are starting to realize the problems that we have is not because we don't have enough government. They've come to the conclusion because of the failure of government that we have way too much government. And that is the emphasis on individual freedom, our lives, and what the proper role of government ought to be. So this is as much of an opportunity as anything. I am so delighted when I go around the country, especially when I go to the universities, that the young people are listening. They know what they're getting. They're sick and tired of hearing debt and war, let me tell you. You know, the Cold War was ending, and we got to know about Solzhenitsyn. Here was a person that was well educated, knew the classics, understood and spoke English, and all these things under that tyranny. So there's always those, and this country has them, and they're coming out because they have felt so lonely for so long. So those who have been disenfranchised or felt that way for so many years, I believe they're joining this freedom movement. And I'm excited about it. I am certainly glad I finally got to the place where freedom started. It's great to be here. Thank you very much.
This is what a New Hampshire Liberty Forum looks like. And this is what you'll look like if you miss it. freestateproject.org/libertyforum. freestateproject.org/libertyforum.